it's exciting. It's cool. It's great. We'll get to see some football tonight with the Chiefs and the Lions, which I think is cool. And then as we prepare for the Bills.
You know the Bills well, obviously, but they had some changes with Leslie's no longer calling plays and Sean is taking over. What kind of does that do to your preparation?
That Sean is obviously an unbelievable defensive mind, and obviously he's going to have his say-so with what the defenses look like over his tenure at Buffalo. So obviously there's going to be new wrinkles. You try to figure out what he's done when he was a play caller, and you try to study as much as you can. But there's going to be wrinkles. There's going to be unscouted looks. The three-time defending champs are going to have some good stuff for us, and we just got to be good with our in-game adjustments.
What do you see from the Bills, the film, at least right now?
They're obviously they've been championship contenders for the last however many years. On offense, Josh is elite. When the ball's in his hands, anything can happen. Play's never over. There's always two plays. It's the first play in progression, and then the second play when he's running around making things happen. They got a good old line. They've got big backs. Obviously, their skill guys are pretty damn good. They added a tight end in the draft. That's pretty darn good. And then defensively, they've been top five what feels like forever since Sean's been there. And they've got experience in the back end. They've got a really good front. Their linebackers, Milano is unbelievable. Their nickel, number 7, he's really freaking good. So it's gonna be a challenge.
Robert, have you given much thought to what that stadium is going to be like Monday night?
9/11
is the debut of Ross Adams.
It's opening day. It's always live. Every stadium in football that's hosting a game is going to be live, and but really excited about getting those Jets fans out there and hearing that chant and all that good stuff. It'll be fun.
Your speech made the rounds from Hard Knocks, made the rounds on social media, kind of just about you were saying about people saying you play hard. How often did you experience that, and has that always been a rallying cry for you to kind of go on the other side of it?
No, it's I don't know. It's like, what else do you say to a team that's losing, right? And it just, like I always look at, the 80s Niners were hated. The 90s Cowboys were hated. Everyone's hated the Patriots over the last 15 years. And when I was in San Francisco, we hated the Rams. Well, it's because they win. They do something. They're doing something. And so there's a lot of anger and hate towards them. And so, it's just always been that mindset that if people are trying to poke holes in you, it's because you're doing something. And it's just, I don't know, it's just been an observation, I guess.
Do you like that, being that team that's hated almost like kind of?
Not necessarily. It just, I guess I look at it, if you can't keep our names out your mouth, it must mean we're doing something good. Now, with that said, we haven't done anything. We still got to win football games. And in the 2 years that we've been here, we've won 11 of them. But I do think we've done a really nice job. We've made a lot of progress, and we've positioned ourselves to have a good year. But we still got to go out and do it.
Do you worry at all, Robert, that you guys are taking a bullseye on you with the talk? You guys have been open about thinking you can win the Super Bowl. Not just that's a goal, but you think you're one of the teams that can win the Super Bowl this year. DJ on Monday said he thinks this defense can be the 85 Bears.
No. I do think we have a paraphrase problem with the way that our guys talk. I think when you look at DJ's quote, he answered the question, just like every team in football and every player in football will talk about what they think they can be. But I think what was omitted and what's been omitted from all of our guys' conversations is how important the moment it is and bringing it back. Yes, potential. Every team has potential to be special this year, all 32 of them. But I think what's important is listening to the whole quote, listening to our players, knowing our players, and knowing that they are so focused on the moment and trying to get better every single day. And they talk about that. Now, unfortunately, that's the part that gets omitted in our paraphrased generation. But with that said, I love the mindset of this group. I love where we're at.
Chances are that your opponents aren't going to see the whole quote, right? They're going to see what we paraphrase.
I don't.
About them?
No, I don't think I don't think teams. Now, if he was disrespecting another team, that's different. I don't think teams look at another team having confidence in itself as a rallying cry. And if they are, you probably already lost. That's just my opinion. Like, a team is supposed to have confidence in itself, and if you think that's a thing that you need to rally your troops around, then you guys are struggling to get motivated. So
With Makai in particular, he's obviously been working hard to get back to this point where he's playing first time 2 years. How important is it going to be to emphasize with him, like, not to make this bigger than it is, especially the environment it's going to
I think that's for everybody. I've joked up here a few times. It's not the Catalina wine mixer. It's week one. Whether we win or lose isn't going to make or break the season. It's Monday night. It's why we practice the way we practice. It's why we try to be intrinsically motivated. It's why we focus on the moment. So when we do get to those, you treat everything like a championship moment. So when you are in a championship moment, it's just normal. And so for everybody, it's stay in the moment, stay focused on your job, do your job the best you can, and trust that the results will handle itself.
Robert, as you embark on this new season, what are the qualities that you like, respect, appreciate most about the football team you're coaching right now?
I just mentioned it. I think it's a really good group with regards to being intrinsically motivated and knowing what it's going to take day in and day out to be our absolute best. From walkthrough to practice, the deliberateness and the total attention to detail that these guys have is pretty cool, especially for a young group. And then obviously the veteran presence that's come along and added to that in that guidance. It's a good mixture. It's a really good group. I've said it to you guys 100 times. Our locker room has an unbelievable makeup of football character in terms of guys who understand what it takes to be your absolute best, and I think that's the one thing that I appreciate most about this group is that they know how to have fun. They have a lot of confidence in themselves, but they also understand how to keep the main thing, which is attacking every day and every moment the best they can.
We've been asking players for 6 weeks on the Aaron Rodgers effect and how he's impacted them and their jobs and so forth, but I was just wondering, how has he affected you as the head coach, and how will that affect your job having him for the rest of the year? The way you perform the job.
Always, I've said it before, no different than I'm going to lean on our quarterbacks coach or our O-line coach, or I'm going to go to my linebackers coach or DB coach and just lean on them for thoughts. I am going to go to Aaron and get some thoughts for him in the locker room, and Dwayne Brown and T.J. Mosley and all the veterans that we have on our team. Obviously Aaron is added to it from what we didn't have a year ago, but he's been a tremendous asset, tremendous ear. He's provided thought. He's challenged, and I want that. So having him has been awesome.
Carl, what do you think the potential of this defense is? I know how good it was last year, and players have talked about you might be playing with leads this year, and that changes things. What do you think the potential?
Again, it's sky's the limit, right? But I'm not saying anything anyone else wouldn't say. I am not one to compare. I think when you compare yourself to something, which would be the one thing that I would tell DJ not to do, is you cap yourself. I was like, well, why do we got to be the Legion of Boom? Why can't you be more? So you never really want to compare. So with regard to what we can be, guys, you just got to approach every day, attack every moment. We do have a special group, and we've got a hell of a lineup of quarterbacks to play and offenses, and it's going to be a challenge. But I do trust this group, and I do think it's got a chance to be special, but again, we got to bring it back to the moment and attack every day.
There are teams sometimes that they get criticized, not for looking too far ahead, but by openly talking about the Super Bowl, whether there's a clock counting down to February or it's literally the day of the Super Bowl, or for you guys have a ball. Why do you want to openly talk about it? Why do you want to make that consistently happen?
So we don't openly talk about it. We get asked questions and we answer them. But everybody wants to win a championship. The reason why I don't care that our guys say something is because they always bring it back to the moment. Again, no one's talking about that part of it. And that's why it doesn't matter. If we were out there talking about what we want without understanding what needs to happen, that's a completely different message. But our guys understand the job at hand, the task at hand, and that's attacking the moment. And that's all you can ask for.
Robert, when we were talking to Connor McGovern, not Hughes, he was saying that since he joined the team, he's done a complete 180. He said Joe has done a good job of getting rid of the bad apples, and there's nothing in that locker room. Kind of backing up what you just said, when you hear some of the players talking about that, do you think that that was an issue, that was a process to get to this point, to have that type of locker room that you talk about now?
Yeah, it's always been a belief, and that's why I feel like Joe and I get along so well. People win football. People win in life. It's people. It's not scheme. It's not whatever. It's people that make things happen. It's the people that bring things to life, and it takes tremendous character to overcome adversity. It takes tremendous character to overcome the disease of me, where you are having success. It takes great character people, and that was the first mission when we all got in here 2 years ago, was to bring in people who you can win with through thick or thin, good times, bad times, people who are going to stay focused on the moment, and people who are going to understand what needs to happen day in and day out. And so it's been great to, it's like Connor and CJ, guys who have been here through that whole thing, Quinnen, who have been able to see it all happen and recognize that this is our standard. This is what we're not just talking the talk. We're backing it up with the guys that we brought in, but at the same time, so there's a lot to be proud of over the last 2 years with regards to what has happened with this organization. But again, it still comes down at the end of the day. You got to win football games, and so up to this point has been awesome. Got a hell of a climb to have over the next couple of months, and so hopefully it works out the way we're all hoping.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, thanks, guys.
Singletary at the
Knock on wood
backdrop.
today.
Singletary at the backdrop today? What you get?